In the dead of night, in a crumbling hospital in the forgotten town of Willow Creek, Nurse Emily Thompson discovers a chilling set of rules that must be followed to survive the night shift. Whispers from an empty room, shadows and forbidden mirrors, and knocks from a door that should never be answered. Break a single rule, and the thing that's been haunting the hospital since its fiery past will come for you. Will Emily unravel the secrets of the rules before they claim her soul, or will she become another name scratched out in the hospital's blood-stained logbook? Emily Thompson pulled into the gravel parking lot of Willow Creek Hospital just as the sun dipped below the rolling hills of rural Oregon. The small town of Willow Creek, with its population barely scraping 5,000, felt like a forgotten corner of America, where everyone knew everyone's business but kept their own secrets buried deep. Emily, a 28-year-old nurse from Portland, had taken the night shift job out of desperation after her divorce left her drowning in debt. The hospital was an old brick building from the 1950s, its faded sign creaking in the evening breeze. She stepped out of her rusty Ford pickup, clutching her thermos of black coffee, ready for her first shift from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Inside, the lobby was dimly lit by flickering fluorescent lights, casting long shadows on the linoleum floors that smelled faintly of bleach and something metallic. The receptionist, an elderly woman named Mrs. Hargrove, handed Emily a clipboard with her paperwork and a laminated sheet titled Night Shift Protocols. Emily skimmed it quickly, standard stuff about patient checks and emergency procedures, but then her eyes caught the unusual entries. Rule 1. Never acknowledge the whispers from room 13 after midnight. She chuckled nervously, assuming it was some hazing ritual for new hires. Dr. Harlan, the head physician on nights, greeted her with a firm handshake. He was in his 50s, with salt and pepper hair and eyes that seemed perpetually tired. Welcome to Willow Creek, Emily. We're a tight-knit team here. Just follow the rules and you'll be fine. His tone was serious, almost grave, as he led her down the sterile hallway. The hospital was small, only 2 floors with about 20 rooms, mostly for the elderly locals suffering from age-related ailments. Emily's first task was to check on the patients in the East Wing. The corridors were eerily quiet, save for the occasional beep of a heart monitor. She entered room 5, where old Mr. Jenkins lay sleeping, his Ford dripping steadily. As she adjusted his blanket, she glanced back at the protocol sheet in her pocket. Rule 2. If the elevator dings but no one exits, do not enter for 10 minutes. It sounded absurd, like something from a bad horror movie. By midnight, the hospital felt even more isolated. The town outside was pitch black, no streetlights beyond the main road. Emily sat at the nurse's station, sipping her coffee, when she heard faint whispers echoing from down the hall. Room 13 was empty, according to the charts, reserved for emergencies. She shook her head, dismissing it as wind through the vents. Her co-worker, Nurse Ramirez, a burly man named Carlos, though everyone called him Carl, joined her for a break. First night jitters? He asked with a grin. Emily nodded, showing him the protocols. Carl's face hardened. Those aren't jokes, kid. We've lost people who ignored them. Emily laughed it off, but Carl's eyes didn't smile. As the clock ticked to 1 a.m., Emily made her rounds again. The air grew colder, unnaturally so for August. She passed room 13, and the whispers grew louder, like muffled conversations in a foreign tongue. Rule 1 burned in her mind, so she kept walking, heart pounding. In the break room, Emily found a dusty old logbook hidden in a drawer. Entries from past nurses mentioned incidents tied to the rules. One from 1987 read, "Ignored Rule 3, saw the shadow in the mirror. Won't sleep again." Curiosity piqued, she flipped through more pages. Dr. Harlan checked in, his stethoscope dangling like a noose. "Everything quiet?" he asked. Emily mentioned the whispers, but he cut her off. "Don't acknowledge them. Ever." His warning lingered as he vanished into his office. Emily finished her coffee, steeling herself for the long night ahead. Little did she know the rules weren't just guidelines, they were the thin veil between the living and something far older than Willow Creek itself. The protocol sheet became Emily's reluctant Bible as the hours dragged on. Rule 3. Avoid looking into mirrors between 2 and 3 a.m. Cover them if necessary. She wondered who came up with these, perhaps some superstitious founder. The hospital's history was murky. Locals whispered about a fire in the 1920s that claimed lives, but official records were scarce. At 1:30 a.m., Emily assisted Carl with a patient in room 8, Mrs. Ellis, who was recovering from hip surgery. The old woman grabbed Emily's arm suddenly. You knew? Listen to the rules, dear. They keep it away. Emily pried her hand free, chalking it up to dementia. Back at the station, the phone rang. A wrong number, but the static on the line sounded like distant screams. Emily hung up quickly, her skin prickling. She decided to explore the basement level where supplies were stored, but Rule 4 stopped her. Do not descend to the basement alone after 1 a.m. Carl shared a story over vending machine snacks. Last year, a temp nurse ignored Rule 5, fed the stray cat at the back door. Found her the next morning, scratched to hell, babbling about eyes in the dark. Emily shivered, the hospital's isolation amplifying every creak. As 2 a.m. approached, Emily covered the mirror in the staff bathroom with a towel, feeling foolish. She washed her hands, avoiding her reflection, but a shadow flickered in her peripheral vision. Heart racing, she fled the room. Patient alarms went off in room 10, false alarm, but it gave her a scare. Mr. Patel was fine, snoring peacefully. Emily noted the time, 2:15 a.m. The mirror stayed covered. Dr. Harlan emerged from his office, looking paler. Good job on the mirrors, he muttered. Emily pressed for explanations, but he shook his head. Some things are better left unknown. The whispers from room 13 returned, louder, almost pleading. Emily plugged her ears with headphones, blasting pop music to drown them out. Rule 1 held firm. In the logbook she found another entry, Rule 6. If the lights flicker 3 times, lock all doors until dawn. The date was recent, signed by Carl. Emily's shift felt endless, but the rules were weaving a web of dread. She glanced outside. The town slept, oblivious to the hospital's secrets. By 3 a.m. fatigue set in, but adrenaline kept Emily alert. Rule 7. Never answer knocks on the back door after 3 a.m. It's not a delivery. The back door led to a wooded area, overgrown and foreboding. A patient in room 12, young Sarah Klein recovering from a car accident, woke up screaming about the man in the walls. Emily administered a sedative, but Sarah's eyes were wild. He follows the rules too, she whispered before drifting off. Carl patrolled the west wing, flashlight in hand. Emily joined him, the beam cutting through darkness like a knife. They passed the elevator, which dinged inexplicably. Rule 2, wait 10 minutes. They stood frozen, watching the doors slide open to emptiness. Inside the elevator, a faint handprint smeared the wall, as if someone had clawed their way out. Emily's breath caught, but Carl pulled her away. Don't think about it. Back at the station, Emily brewed fresh coffee, spilling some from shaky hands. The protocols mocked her from the desk. Knocks echoed from the back door, 3 sharp raps. Emily froze, Rule 7 screaming in her mind. The knocks persisted, then stopped abruptly. Dr. Harlan called from his office. You heard it? Good, you ignored it. His voice was strained, like a man on the edge. The lights flickered once, twice. Emily counted, praying it wouldn't reach 3. It stopped at 2, relief washing over her. In room 13, the whispers evolved into soft cries. Emily resisted the urge to investigate, clinging to the rules. The logbook revealed a pattern. Every few years, a nurse vanished, always after breaking a rule. Emily vowed not to be next. As 4 a.m. neared, the hospital's air thickened, heavy with unspoken fear. Rule 8. If you hear footsteps in the ceiling, do not look up. Continue your duties. Emily wondered about the attic space above. A code blue in room 4 pulled her focus. Mr. Jenkins flatlined. She and Carl performed CPR, Dr. Harlan rushing in with the defibrillator. They saved him, but Emily's hands trembled afterward. Wiping sweat from her brow, she heard footsteps overhead, slow and deliberate. Rule 8, eyes down. She busied herself with charts, ignoring the creaks. Carl whispered, it's been here since the fire. The rules trap it mostly. Emily demanded more, but he clammed up. The elevator dinged again, no one. 10 minutes passed in tense silence. Emily snuck a peek at Dr. Harlan's office door, ajar. Inside, files on incidents littered his desk. She slipped in, scanning one entity manifest through breaches in protocol. A hand on her shoulder, Dr. Harlan. Curiosity kills here, Emily. He escorted her out, locking the door. The back door knocked again, more insistent. Ignored. Whispers from room 13 called her name now. Chills ran down her spine. She updated the logbook. First shift, rules holding. For now. Dawn was hours away, but 5 a.m. brought a false sense of security. Rule 9. Do not turn off the radio in the lounge, static wards off the visitors. The old radio hummed faintly in the background. Sarah Klein woke again, calmer. The rules are from the old matron after the fire. She saw it first. Emily listened, piecing together fragments. Footsteps in the ceiling resumed, circling above the nurse's station. Eyes down, she filed paperwork. Carl shared coffee, his face etched with worry. You're doing well. Most cracked by now. The mirror in the bathroom, towel slipped off. Emily averted her gaze, but a shadowy figure reflected briefly. She covered it again, heart hammering. Dr. Harlan announced a quiet night so far. Jinx, Emily thought. Knocks at the back door, accompanied by scratching now. Rule 7 held. Room 13's door creaked open slightly. Emily slammed it shut without looking inside. The logbook entry from 1923, fire released it. Rules bind it. Emily felt watched, the hospital alive with malice. At 6 a.m., the sky lightened faintly, but dread peaked. Rule 10, if it appears in human form, ask for the password, Willow's shadow. Wrong answer, run. Mrs. Ellis coded, another save but exhausting. Emily's vision blurred from fatigue. Whispers evolved to voices mimicking colleagues. Emily, help me, in Carl's tone from room 13. Carl was beside her. Impossible. Rule 1, ignore. The elevator dinged thrice. They waited, breath held. A figure in the hall, humanoid but wrong. Emily approached cautiously. Password? Willow's shadow? It rasped correctly? No, Dr. Harlan's voice, but he was in his office. It was Harlan, false alarm. But doubt lingered. Back door pounded like a heartbeat. Ignored. Logbook, it learns, adapts. Rules evolve. Exhaustion clawed at Emily as 6:30 a.m. hit. A new rule in her mind, unspoken. Trust no one. Sarah Klein vanished from her bed, found in the hall, dazed. It took me walking. Footsteps overhead thundered now. Eyes down. Carl confessed, I broke rule 3 once. Saw my dead wife in the mirror. Almost lost it. Mirror uncovered again, shadow lunged. Emily screamed, covering it. Dr. Harlan locked down the wing. Breach imminent. Knocks became bangs. Door rattled. Room 13 burst open. Empty but cold wind rushed out. Logbook torn page. It hungers for breakers. Emily barricaded herself, rules fracturing. Dawn teased the horizon, but terror reigned. It manifested, tall, shadowy, whispering rules mockingly. Emily ran down halls, evading tendrils. Carl shouted warnings, but was it him? Elevator trapped her, dinged, doors jammed. Mirror reflected it behind her. Averted eyes. Back door splintered, it entered. Dr. Harlan fought it with incantations tied to rules. Room 13 swallowed light. Logbook burned in her hands? Illusion. Emily chanted rules, pushing back. Light broke through windows. It weakened. Sarah revealed, hospital built on cursed land. Fire awakened ancient spirit. Carl admitted, we're guardians bound by rules. Dr. Harlan, you survived first night. Welcome. But Emily saw scratches on her arm, marked. Whispers faded but promised return. Basement called, source below. Mirror showed her future, trapped. Logbook final entry, she'll break eventually. Emily questioned reality. Sun rose, shift ended. Emily clocked out, shaken. Town seemed normal but eyes followed. Home she dreamed of rules. Next shift loomed. Carl texted, remember rule 1. Dr. Harlan called, you're one of us now. Sarah discharged, warned her, leave town. But debt chained her. Whispers in her apartment. It followed. Emily accepted. The rules were her life now. If you love this chilling tale, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe and ring the bell, so you never miss our dark, spine-tingling horror stories from every corner of the globe.